at home, he will be finishing with there is South Sudan. He says he can lose, if he loses both games, he will pack up his bags and off to Belgium, and South Africa will never see him again. So he says, yeah, playing against Uganda is going to be a tough one, because Team Uganda is a tough team, and then but losing home against South Africa, if that happens, 5 minutes after the game, he will be boarding. So basically, he wants to sack himself. And then somehow, Whistle Time Desk also received a story of the head coach of the Black Angels resigning on his own. Here reasons he has given us as to why he has resigned is definitely something that we shall look into in the due course of the show. Basically, you have to stay glued to there is a Whistle Time in there. Just like I had said, we did see a couple of preliminary games going on. There is a Stanbic Uganda Cup in there. And in some of the results that, of course, reached Whistle Time Desk, we did see Parombo Missions playing. There is a Zeu Central, and this game ended on a 0-0. With penalties, where Parambo, of course, did beat Zeu Central 4-3. That was in the penalty shootout. And then we did see Okokoro United playing Opotani Central, and Opotani Central lost to, there is Okokoro United 3-1. And then we did see Johanna that, of course, did play Pakwach Youngsters, and Johanna lost to Pakwach Youngsters 1-0. And then Villa Spurs did face themselves with Paiva United, and they played a 1-1 draw. And then they, of course, went to penalty shootouts, and definitely someone had to emerge as a winner. And in the penalty shootouts, we did see Paiva United beating there is Villa Spurs on 4-2 in there is the penalty shootouts in there. And then somehow we also did see there is Goalie Mission Stars taking on there is Kuluva Rainbow, and this game ended on a 1-0 in favor of Kuluva Rainbow in there. Quite very interesting and quite very impressive against in there. And of course, Stanbic Cup preliminary continues, but basically our focus shall be there is within within the games that are within in West Nile that are played, and some of your teams, how they are performing is basically something we shall always be bringing to you in here. All you have to do is, of course, keep it locked to there is West Nile TV, where, of course, you shall be getting everything that, of course, is within sports in there. Within the preliminary, I think it's getting very tough. There is for Stanbic, it's getting very tough. And the teams, this basically is between the lower league division teams. I would say 4th league division games, 5th league, even teams that play 5th league, and then teams that are in the regional league. Here, you definitely have to register in. And here, Stanbic Uganda Cup does not eliminate any other personnel. It has no boundaries. So long as you're able to pay their affiliation fee, you definitely get yourself being registered, and you definitely get yourself featuring in there is the Stanbic Uganda Cup preliminaries in there. Quite a couple of stories. I want us to look at I want us to look at cycling today. And of course, by the way, are you aware that Arua City has a cycling team, I should say. These are teams that definitely move around touring places with their bicycles. Yeah. These young men go around touring the places with their bicycles, and of course, it's quite a very good one. First of all, it's a part of an exercise, yeah, and then secondly, It helps. It helps you know places. Yeah, it helps you know places. But then I don't know how many of you out there can be able to ride to a long distance. I've seen cycling in most cases in the Greater Lure sub-region, and I've always seen this when they are for their kingship or queendom games. They normally call it a Kopopa Ubimu or the Kopopa Menubimu in there. That's basically when I always get to see these competitions over cycling. But the cycling club that is in Arua is, I think, just for fun. These young men bought themselves highly classic bicycles that they normally ride around. The last time I checked, they rode to Terego to see Mountain Wati and its surroundings, and then there was a time they also rode to Madi in Rhino Camp to, of course, visit a media house that side. So basically, for them, they are doing it for fun. They are not doing it for competition, just like how the people in the Greater Lure sub-region do it, when normally they are taking part or participating in the Kopopa Ubimu or the Kopopa Aminu Bimu in there. And I remember there are, by the way, a lot of games that are coming through in AFCON. Today, South Sudan has a game against the Democratic Republic du Congo. There is our neighbors, Congo here. South Sudan has a game at home against Congo. And then after that, they'll definitely have to fly and play away to there is the Bafana Bafana, South Africa. Meanwhile, for Uganda, they have a game tomorrow. South Sudan is playing today, remember. And within their squad, there are a lot of Ugandans. We have the Okocha Rashids, Gerigat Endele, Gaddafi Wahab Thiago. We have Toa Rashid. A lot of Ugandan active footballers that feature in there is the South Sudan team. So basically, most of them also come from West Nile in here, and they are representing South Sudan, and would say from Wiso Time Desk West Nile TV, wish you all the best. They are our brothers today that will be playing for their flag in South Sudan against there is Congo in there. Meanwhile, for Team Uganda, they will be in action tomorrow. There is against the Bafana Bafanas. Remember, when Team Uganda traveled, of course, out, they did play a draw, or I think it was a 2-2 against South Africa in South Africa, and tomorrow they will be home at Mandela National Stadium. And how the team decides to line up is, or whoever is in camp, is something we shall also be looking at a little bit later on. I want us to look at one coach. There is Abdallah Mubiru, who currently is the gaffer at KCCA. He came through. Remember, Abdallah Mubiru came at KCCA. There is towards the end of last season, and his first in year shows progress, but the hard work has yet only begun. For there is a KCCA under their gaffer Aruna Mubiru in there. This week marks the first anniversary of Abdallah Mubiru's appointment at KCCA. It has been a year of highs and lows. Few could have predicted his side would lie first in. There is the Uganda Premier League table standings, season 2024-2025 in there. At the moment, currently, they are sitting top of the table. We're talking about KCCA. There is the table standings for Uganda Premier League in there. The soft-spoken ex-midfielder replaced Portuguese Sergio Traguli, who oversaw KCCA's worst start in history with just 1 point. That was that KCCA was able to collect 1 point after playing 5 games in a row. In fact, transforming KCCA's fortunes then looked never likely to be easy for a tactician who was shown exit from Lugogo over a decade ago. And truth be said, not many Kasasiro faithful welcomed the idea of appointing there is Aruna Mubiru, but he was eventually appointed, and here he is doing wonders at the camp of KCCA. This means the ex-police Vipers and Uganda Cranes coach had to contend with problems not only on the pitch but also off it to get the backing of everyone, especially the fans in there. You get to realize that in most cases when you're being shown the exit from one club and you're coming through to another club, especially this is the same club that he was shown exit. But when Tragili was not working out things as expected at KCCA, he was also shown the exit. So issues came through as to who was supposed to be the rightful person to come through and represent and come through to step in the gaps that Fragili had left. So a lot of names came through. Others thought, oh, the same guy, there is Aruna Mubiru, who at one point was, of course, shown the doors. So basically, many people at KCCA, from the fans to the management, part of the management, even players, did not agree or they did not support this very idea. But a few that supported it, I think, knew his inner abilities to turn the tables for there is a KCCA. So Mubiru found KCCA languishing in relegation with only 4 points and over 20 behind. Then Ali Pasetias for the 2023-2024 season. Chitara and Bull were, of course, on top of the table during last season, if we all remember that very well. They had only scored 6 goals and conceded 12 in the process, with no clean sheet, and written off in the title race completely. KCCA last season, if we all remember, they were written off in the title race chase. Then somehow they had only few goals and all that, but when Aruna Mubiru came in, we all saw the magic that he did at KCCA. We did see him turn the tables. We did see him pull KCCA out of the relegation zone up. And I think they did finish in position number 5. And one of the players, there is Muhammad Shabani Jaga, did finish as the top scorer of the season. You can imagine, after they had conceded 12 goals by the time there is Aruna Mubiru was coming through. However, by the end of the campaign, KCCA was ranked number 1st in goals scored with 54, ranked 7th in the best defense column with there is 33 goals conceded, and sat 5th on the table with 49 points. Only 8 behind eventual winners for last season. That was a soccer club Villa in there. In the Stanbic Uganda Cup, they were eliminated in there is the quarter-finals by Bull Football Club on penalties after a 1-1 draw in the 90 minutes. KCCA's last season's finish raised in a lot of expectations. Under Mubiru, KCCA collected more points than any other team, produced the top scorer, just like I had said, the top scorer in the names of Muhammad Shaban, and this only raised more expectations because KCCA had beaten champions, the soccer club Villa, at home, had beaten them home and away, avenged defeats to Express, NEC, and also got their first away win at St. Mary's Stadium at Chitende against growing rivals. There is a team Vipers, a soccer club. Soon through the expectations began to fade with there is the departures of key players Muhammad Shaban, Herbert Achai, and fans' favorite Mustafa Chiza. And then came the FIFA Super 8 pre-season tournament. That's what KCCA lose to there is a Chitara on a 4-3 aggregate in there. But in reality, Mubiru had improved results against the big boys, introduced a structure on the pitch that brought the best out of his players, and the players fought for each other, and they fought for the coach, that is Aruna Mubiro, and they also did fight for the badge of KCCA in there. So as the new season slowly crept in that we are in right now, with the departure of Shaban, many wondered where goals would come from, but Mubiru didn't look worried, because he had worked with the team last season. He had picked them from a terrible spot, there is relegation, and made them finish 5th. By the time he was coming in office, this is a team that had already conceded 12 goals. This is a team that only had, I think, 5 points, 1 win in 5 games. So basically no goals and all that, but with the wonders and expertise that he had, I already gave you what he did at the end of last season. There is for Uganda Premier League season 2023-2024 in there. So he says if we can get the attacking midfielders scoring, the void left by Shaban will be easily filled, and I am confident in the lads. These are words coming from Aruna Mubiru. Thankfully, old boys Derek Nsimbambi and Sadat Anaku arrived, and though they haven't been in the team consistently due to injuries, goals have come with KCCA only failing to score just once in 8 matches this very season that they have played in. They are unbeaten and top of the standings, and many bookmakers' favorites to go ahead head-to-head with Vipers for there is the title. Excluding FIFA Super 8 matches, Mubiru has managed 34 competitive matches since his appointment, with 30 of those in the league and 4 in the Stanbic Uganda Cup. KCA have won 20 of those matches, which amounts to a winning percentage of 58.8%, drawn 7, and lost as many, though one on penalties after a 1-all draw. During that run, KCCA has scored 65 goals, conceded 24, kept 14 clean sheets, and failed to score in only 4 matches under Aruna Mubiru ever since he took over office. The MTN Omondi Stadium Lugogo has become a fortress under Mubiru, with only 1 defeat and 2 draws in 14 matches, keeping 10 clean sheets and conceding just 5 goals, scoring 35. Summary of KCCA numbers under Mubiru: games played 34, wins 20, draws 7, goals scored 65, goals conceded 14. Quite a wonderful one, quite a very good one for there is for Aruna Mubiru. If all coaches were like this, then I guess it would be quite a very good one for every other team. But instead, we are seeing a lot of clubs parting ways with there is their coaches here and there. Mid already did part ways with their coach. Even Lugazi did part ways with their coach, and the rest of the people. Mbale Heroes, I think, is also having issues with their coach. Basically, because even Chitara that did wonders last season, Chitara that is seeing their boys shine in the national team, the likes of the Omedis, Dennis Omedi and the rest. They are shining in the national team. They are scoring goals for fun in the national team. But then back home, whatever it is that is happening is something that you will fail to understand in there. Uganda Premier League definitely will be returning this very weekend, where we shall be having games from 20th, where we shall be seeing Police taking on Lugazi, and then URA will be taking on Vipers. Bright Stars has the Luzira Bayside Maroons to play, and then Bull Football Club takes on Express, and then we shall be seeing Aruna Mubiru's KCCA taking on NEC Football Club, and Chitara will be taking on UPDF. Mbarara City takes on Mbale Heroes. And then lastly, we shall be seeing Villa taking on Veriza Wachiso Giants in there. And how the table standings of Uganda Premier League season 2024-2025 looks like is as follows. In position number 1, of course, we have KCCA that has accumulated 18 points, and then in position number 2 is Vipers that has 12 points and is chasing KCCA very closely, and then NEC has 16 points, sitting in position number 3, and then in position number 4 we have a Bull Football Club that has accumulated 12 points, and then in position number 5 we have Express Football Club that has also accumulated 12 points, and then position number 6 has UPDF that also has 12 points to the names, and then we have the champions, the currently reigning champions that sit in position number 11. I am talking about a soccer club Villa that have 11 points and are seated in position number 7. And then position number 8 has UWRA, a soccer club with also 11 points, and then position number 9 has a Police Football Club that has also accumulated 11 points, and then Mbarara City sits in the 10th position with, of course, 9 points, and then Wachiso Giants sit in position number 11 with there is 9 points, and then in the 12th position we have Lugazi that has a lot of issues with coaches. They have accumulated 9 points, and then the Luzira Base side there is a Marines Football Club sits in position number 13. And they have also 9 points together with Lugazi, Wachiso Giants, and Mbarara City in there. And then in position number 14, we have there is Soltilo Bright Stars that have only accumulated 6 points. And then position number 12 is the Easterners, the Surgeons. There is Mbale Heroes who have 6 points to their names. And then position number and they sit in the 15th position, and then Chitara sits last on the table with 4 points. Whew, whatever it is that is happening to Chitara, you people. There is a lot, by the way, that is happening at Chitara. There are a lot of issues. There are a lot of rumors that are ongoing. First of all, Chitara did very well. That was last season in Masindi. And this time around, they've moved to Buhimba. And how they moved, we're told. Wiso Time Desk was told that they didn't move in a correct way. I don't know. They didn't seek for permission. Even the people of Masindi did not know that Chitara was moving. They just moved. By the time the season was starting, people just woke up and realized, hey, the team we used to support is no longer in our region, like is no longer in our area. So that's how they moved. And we were told that it's the gods of where they played last season that is punishing them. And then there is also a lot that is happening in the camp. There are a lot of allegations that we won't discuss here until proved right. We want authentic information that we can give you. But already, rumors are flying about the previous coach that has had issues with the management, that has had issues with players, that he has been dividing players. There are certain players that have been for him, and there are certain players that have been against him, management inclusive. So basically, this is all under investigations yet. So Wiso Time Desk, Quesnel TV cannot give you raw information. We are waiting for a very authentic information that, of course, will come from Chitara, and that is when we shall be also definitely giving you that very information by the time it comes out. We shall also be looking at a big league, the games that will be going down. Of course, Calvary has Boma to play. There is today. And then also, the Black Angels has Busoga to play down at Barokoro. I want us to look at the game between the Black Angels and, of course, Barokoro in there. This game, by the way, if you look at this game, to me, it's going to be a very tough game. Yeah, it's going to be a very tough game. First of all, the Black Angels is home. Yeah, the Black Angels is home, and they've not lost any game at home. This is the Black Angels that has not lost any game, by the way, ever since the big league kick-started. They have not lost any game at home, and Barokoro is a death trap. They beat teams there for fun. This is the same Busoga that of course we did see Onduparaka Football Club recently traveling also. They went there and played a draw in there at the home of, they were in Ginger, at the home of Busoga, and today they are away at the home of Paidha Black Angels. Paidha Black Angels, just like I had said, although their coach has resigned, the head coach has resigned, but Paidha Black Angels has been working under the assistant coach. We're talking about Hassan. Yeah, Paidha Black Angels has been working under Hassan, and they trust Hassan so much and believe in him that any game he goes for, he is going to pick a win, especially if the game is on. Now, I think how the head coach of Paidha Black Angels came through to resign is that he stated that there is a lot of interference. That there is a lot of interference from management. There is a lot of interference from management, from players themselves, from fans. Fans will tell you what they want to be done. Fans will not allow you to do the work that the team hired you for. This is a complaint that came through from the head coach. But then, in all this, much of the work at Paidha Black Angels, starting from last season, how they went through from a regional league to the playoffs. I remember they did play Araka up to beating Araka through the playoffs and coming through to there is a big league. I think it has basically been there is the hard work of Hassan. So these people trust in Hassan so much. The last game they played against Tugasaze at home, there were a lot of wonders that happened. We did see fans coming through with placards reading that they didn't want the head coach, he needed to leave. And then I was told, I had a one-on-one talk with one of the insiders, and he was able to reveal to me that in the back room, or even before the game, there are a lot of issues that came through from that is the lineup. How the head coach currently, okay, the ex-head coach, because he has resigned, he has left his work, how he already came up with the lineup is something that a lot of people disagreed on. But then in the second half, as the second half came through, we did see Hassan stepping. And as Hassan stepped on there is the touchline, there was a lot of noise that came through. There were a lot of applause, a lot of morale that came through. So basically, this should tell you something. So we've seen the head coach resign, and today, I think on the touchlines, we shall be seeing Mr. Hassan. That will be the head coach being in charge of this very game, where Busoga, of course, will be playing. Busoga will be taking on Paidha Black Angels down at Barukuru. Wisho Time Desk is following very closely, and tomorrow how this game goes down is something we shall be bringing to you. As Onduparaka is also preparing in high gears to host their former neighbors, the Royal Soccer Club, this coming Sunday at Greenlight Stadium, Mababet. Onduparaka is having a build-up game today at 4 p.m. with Ilifra Football Club. 4 p.m. at Ababet Greenlight Stadium. This, of course, will be in preparations to host in Royal Hill Soccer Club on a Sunday. And the story I was telling you about Paidha Black Angels head coach, Paidha Black Angels Soccer Club head coach Ibrahim Chobe has resigned from his position, citing fans' interference with the technical team. Earlier on Wednesday, of course, that was yesterday, Wisho Time Desk. Wisho Time Desk, of course, had an interview with Mr. Chobe, and he did say that the fans had grown frustrated over the team, over his selection and poor relationship with the supporters, the fans, and the community. It was also reported that his performance over the next two games would determine his stay at the club, as there was total discontent from the view of the supporters, the views of the players and management at large. Paidha have collected just 6 points from their first 4 games, and they sit 10th on the table and face Busoga United today at Barukuru Stadium today afternoon. The club's management has appointed Okello Papa Patrico as the interim head coach, and of course he will oversee today's game, and as usual he will be assisted by Veriza. He will be assisted by the assistant Hassan. There is the most loved coach, I think, in Paida over all times. And in terms of the transfers, of course, Bebe Cool's son, Sally, Will Thierry will be leaving Express come January because he has not been given playtime. It is some